Hello and welcome back to Farmstead MTG. Okay, we're back with another match from the Farmstead 9 event. We are in round 4 and today I am playing against a good buddy of mine named Tron. He was actually my, the best man in my wedding, and this is his first tournament. He hasn't played that much before, so it's going to be interesting. Let's take a look at my deck first. You've seen it before in round 1. We have lots of 1/1 creatures with some pump spells and some cool restricted cards. For the sideboard, the cards that I didn't like in my main deck was the Avoid Fate, at least. So I think I took them out. And I think I took in some falcons from the sideboard. And my opponent, Tron, with his green Stompy deck. And by the way, if you want a cheap budget deck for old school, this is a really good one. You can see, of course, the Berserk is pretty expensive, but that's you don't have to play with a Berserk. So here's a lot of small, fast green creatures. You can see there are 4 hurricanes in his main deck, so that's going to be pretty brutal for my flying army. He also has 2 crumbles and a scavenger folk, so he can take care of lots of artifacts. There are 3 Pendle Havens. Those are excellent in this deck. So yeah, I really like this deck. So the dilemma with playing against a new player, that you want to help them, but when you're on the feature match, it's kind of hard to edit this video if we attacks and takes things back and do all that all the time. So we have to try to play pretty strictly. So if you see some moves that doesn't make sense, just remember he has almost never played Magic before, and this is his first tournament. Alright, let's do this. Game number 1. You have me to the left with my blue-green Berserk deck, and Tron to the left with his green Stompy deck. Tron is on the play. Looks like he mulliganed to 6. He just plays a forest. So I play an island, a Mox Emerald, and a Mox Sapphire, and a Scrib Sprite, and 2 Flying Men. So that's a really fast start. So Tron plays Mishra's Factory, and just passed the turn. So he really has a slow start here. So I attack for 3. So I only have 2 cards left in hand. And Tron attacks for 2 with his factory, and he pumps it. So I take 3 damage, go down to 17, pass the turn. Okay, so I attack for 3 again. Puts him down to 14. So I have 5 lands, so that's a little too much. So he attacks for 2, and he casts a hurricane. Oh, that's bad for me. So I lose all my 3 creatures, and I take... did we both forget to take damage? I think so. Okay. So he attacks for 4. I cast a Psionic Blast on one of his factory, but I still take 4 damage. And he plays a Llanowar Elf. Cast a Recall to get a flyer back. let's see. Okay, so he attacks with both of his creatures, put me down to 8 life. He casts a regrowth, targeting one of his factories. Plays a script right. I play a silver library and an unstable mutation. So I played it just so I can block some of his creatures. So now my script sprite is a 4/4 creature. So he attacks with both his factories and the rest of the creatures. So I take 4 damage and I kill one of his factories. But I'm down to 4 life. So I put a dice on the unstable mutation. That means the creature has -1/-1. So it's a 3/3 now. So I block his factory. I take 2 damage, down to 2 life. He plays then Asps. I can't quite remember the name. The Cobra. Okay, I have a Void Fate in my hand. That's not a good card against this green deck. But now I have 2 factories and a script. So I can block a lot of creatures. Okay, so I block all of his creatures and I pump my factories to get them bigger. So he loses all his creatures. Of course he has another factory that he can use. So the script sprite is now just a 1/1. And here we are discussing the Mishra's factory rules. So he attacks. Of course I have to block. So I block, and he has a giant growth and a Berserk. So the factory becomes a 10/10. I can make my factory a 5/5, but his Mishra has a trample. And I'm at 2 life, so that's game. Game number 2. I'm on the play. Starts out with a Llanowar Elf. Oh, here comes a Pendelhaven. That's a very good card for him. Plays that Cobra. A Bird of Paradise and a Squib Sprite. Squib Sprite. It's so hard to say that word. Here comes another Squib. So I don't have mana to activate my factory. So he attacks for 2, put me down to 18. And will I pay the Cobra cost? No. Comes an Argotian Pixies. Attack with 2 creatures. He blocks my scrub with his scrub. Scrib. Comes a flying man. Lots of small creatures in this game. He plays a Argotian Pixie. It's a 2/1 protection from artifacts. Not that much artifacts in this match. So I attack with my Pixie and my Flying Man. He blocks the Pixies. I do 1 damage, put it down to 18. Here comes a Falcon. I've sideboarded those in. My thought was that I might need more creatures when he has 4 main deck Hurricanes. And I had some cards like the Avoid Fates that is really bad in this match. So I had to put in some cards. Okay, here comes an attack from Tron. It attacks for 4. Okay. I block with my Falcon. Okay, so he casts a Berserk on it. So he can do 3 damage to me. With trample damage. An unstable mutation, makes my Flying Man a 4/4 flyer. Looks like I'm doing some thinking here. I guess there are some pump spell in hand. Okay, so I attack for 5. Him down to 13. When you play these decks with the Berserk and pump spells, you want to win when you cast a Berserk. You don't want to get your opponent from 18 to 8, for example. You want to take them from 10 to 0. So I'll try to chip in some damage early and go for the big finish later. So now my Flying Man is a 3/3 creature. So he's down to 10. Cast a Regrowth, targeting the Pixie. Yeah. So he attacks for 1 and he pumps it with a Pendelhaven. That's 2 damage. He plays a Longbow Archer. And my Flying Man shrinks down to a 2/2 creature. Come on, show me my hand. I think there's a green and a blue card, but okay, another unstable mutation. So that is a 5/5. Yeah, with a Berserk, that's 10 damage. Perfect. So it's 1-1. Game number 3. Trollen is on the play, starts with a forest and a Landor Elf. I play a Pendelhaven into a Bird of Paradise. Birds. He plays a second forest and Elvish Archer. And he attacks for 1. I play a Flying Man. There's a Hurricane for 1. So I can save my Flying Man with my Pendelhaven. The Pendelhaven gives +1/+2 to a 1/1 creature. And he attacks with his Elvish Archer. Puts me down to 16. He's at 18. Another Flying Man. Attacks with my Flying Man. And he doesn't block. Yeah, probably because I have Pendelhaven. Smart move, mister. So he has lots of cards in hand. Okay, he's going aggressive. So ooh, and he has a giant growth. So I'll take 2 damage. I think I'm down to 14. Cast a regrowth, targeting the Flying Man. Oh, so much 1/1 creature in this match. But they can grow quite fast. Okay, he casts a regrowth, targeting a giant growth, and he attacks. So he casts a giant growth on his Scrib Sprite. So my Flying Man is gone. And I'll take 3 damage. Down to 12. Or no, maybe it didn't attack with Landor Elf. Oh, I have to play a Flying Man. And I see a Time Twister in my hand. Okay, so here I'll play Unstable Mutation in my turn. Might have been more correct to wait a turn, because I have 12 life, so I don't have to block this turn. Oh, Tranquility, and it actually has a target. Okay, so I block with my Factory, and my Flying Man gets pumped by the Pendelhaven, so take care of the Elvish Archer and Llanowar Elf. So I attacks for 3. He's at 12, I'm at 11. Place our factory and attack with his squib. Down to 10 life. I have a time twister in my hand. I draw a factory. It's always good. So he takes 3 damage, down to 10. No, it takes 4 damage, so it needs to be down to 9. So we're just banging it out. Okay, looks like I'm not blocking, so I'll take 6 damage down to 4. No, I can attack for 6. He's at 8. No, he's at 9. Yeah, I can see a Berserk. So I'm doing some counting. No, I only have 1 green mana. That's a problem. So I use my Pendelhaven to pay for the Llanowar Elf. So he draws a Rogothian Pixies. That's good against the factory. Okay, now I have 2 green mana. I attack with my Flying Man. Will he block with his Scrib Sprite? So he doesn't block, so I pump it with my Pendelhaven. It's down to 5. I play a Falcon. Plays another factory, attacks with his factory and his Scrib Sprite and the Pixies. That's 5 damage coming my way. Of course I have to block all of his creatures in case he has a Giant Growth. So here he doesn't pump his factory, because then I can pump my factory to make it even bigger, and then he has a tapped factory the rest of the round. Okay, so I'm moving fast now. I can attack for 6 with the Pendelhaven, so he has to block one of my factories. Comes a Berserk. That's 6 damage. Boom. So that was round 4. I won 2-1, and he almost had me. Just a little more practice, my friend, and you'll take it. Oh. No, but yeah, I think he played back in the army way back. But the thing with old school is this tournament is it's a Magic tournament, but it also is a social party. So if you know some people that you like to hang out with, try to invite them to play some old school. That's the best from two worlds, Magic and beer, and hanging out with friends. So that's my speech for today. Take care.